Hello everyone, welcome back. So today, basically I'm testing out a couple of things. I've got the Primary Arms M8 Raptor. So this is a $1,500 scope, $1,600 if you include the if you include the mount. Um, so I've done a previous review on this scope, and I wanted to see how it was going to work in this kind of a setup. Where I'm shooting from like concealed positions, moving slowly. Now, first of all, the target that I was shooting at is pretty well hidden itself, right? You can see it back there. There it is. It's in the center of your screen. You see the white target in the center of your screen. So depending on what angle I'm coming at it from, it's going to be covered with leaves itself. All right, let me flip you guys back around. So one of the things that I found is that even though basically I'm going to edit this video so that I'm shooting at it from inside 100 feet. Okay, I'm shooting at that target from inside 100 feet. And for most of the time, I was probably about 80 feet from the camera or so. When I was shooting most of the time, right? Because I did do a little bit of moving around. So one of the interesting things I found is that I did favor the 3 power, okay? Because here's the thing, as I'm shooting at that target, I can only see, like, you know, depending on what my position is, like, let me flip you guys around a little bit here. Like if I'm coming at it from this angle, you can see how it's covered with leaves, right? So I can only see like a piece of the target. Right, you see that white target in there? So because I could only see a piece of the target at any given time, I kind of favored 3 power so I can actually zoom in a little bit, get a little bit of magnification. So whatever was visible, let me get the stand. So whatever was visible, you know, whatever piece of the target was visible, I could basically focus in on it and hit it. So despite the fact that I was pretty close, I still made use of that magnification. Now, the other thing that's interesting is, even though this has illumination, and this is a great optic because it does have the auto on, auto off with the illumination, right? So the great thing about this is like the first variable scope to where I can actually use the illumination and not worry about the battery running out because it powers off after about 3 minutes. And I've actually tested that. You see it go off after 3 minutes. You see it come back on. However, in this setup, in this type of environment here, I prefer it, right? If you look through the woods, I prefer to turn off the illumination. I found in this environment here, I found the illumination to be a little bit of a distraction, right? So what I preferred was I just turned it off and I was just using the etched reticle, and that allowed me to focus on the target. Now, of course, that's different from like if you're doing moving and shooting like in a CQB type of environment, where you're going to definitely want that horseshoe lit up. In this environment here, I just wanted to use the etch reticle so I can kind of try and focus on my target. So it's a fun exercise. Now I am using a Ruger MPR. This has a an 18-inch barrel. It is a little awkward, you know, 18 inches. A 16-inch barrel is a lot more comfortable in this type of a setup where you're moving through the woods, and realistically, I mean, you can't even see, you know, I mean, it's a struggle to see past 100 feet here. All right, you know, just because at this time of year you still got foliage in the you know, in the trees, you still got leaves on the trees, and it's you know, you really can't see past 100 feet. So still inside of 100 feet, I still went to that 3x magnification, so I could actually see through the openings in the leaves, right? Because my openings were kind of small, so that magnification helped me focus, helped me see, kind of like peek through the little openings in the leaves and take my shots. So it was very useful like that. So what else we got here? First of all, camouflage, right? I got my camo here. This is a good, because right now it's September, so this is a good time of year to be playing with camouflage because it's not that hot, right? In the summertime, I usually wear a tank top. I'm not going to be wearing all this stuff in the summertime. So in the fall and the spring is really when I play around with the camouflage a little bit. And the pattern that I'm using is basically stripes, right? So basically you know, your brain is kind of pre-programmed for 2 eyes, a nose, right? So it's kind of pre-programmed for this T, right? So as soon as it sees this T, it recognizes it as a face, okay? So what I'm trying to do, and I forgot which way the stripes go, but basically, I got one color stripe going across my eye, nose, mouth this way, different color stripe going across my eyes this way. So it breaks up, you know, because you don't want the 2 eyes glaring out at you, right? And that stripe kind of breaks up the shadows that are naturally created under the eyes, under the chin, under the nose. So that's what I'm going through with, you know, I'm going for with the face camouflage. I'm breaking up that stripe. Great thing about the boonie hat is it changes the shape of your head, right? So at a distance, you know, because normally you're used to seeing, you know, basically a ball on top of a table, right? So the shoulders kind of form like a table, and you got a ball, right? A big ball, you know, a fat ball sitting on top of it, right? So the boonie hat changes that shape, right? So you no longer have what's obviously a ball on top of the table, you know, created by the shoulders. And also, the great thing about this hat is there's like little things here where you can stick some leaves, and this is really easy. You just grab a couple off the trees growing out of the ground, you just throw it in there. Really quick, easy camouflage. What you guys can do for me is you can let me know how many seconds in did you notice me, right? You know, the first time you were watching this, how many seconds in do you first see me? Okay, so that would be interesting. Part of the reason why I'm doing this video is I also want to self-evaluate myself and see how I look at a distance in this camouflage that we got going on here. Other interesting thing I'm testing out here. I'm testing out these jungle. Right, put this down. These jungle boots, right? These are Vietnam era jungle boots. I did a previous video on this. These are designed so that they have really wide treads, so that they don't basically hold on to the mud. So as you're walking through here, when I'm using my typical working boots that I use walking through the you know, through the woods here, they typically collect dirt in between the treads. These treads are a lot wider, so that the dirt and the mud falls out of the treads. So watch the previous video on the Vietnam era jungle boots. If you haven't seen that, I go into the details. Now these are not waterproof, right? These were not designed to be waterproof. In fact, they have holes in them so that, you know, water can go in and water can go out. And the idea there was they didn't want to try and make them completely waterproof, because what would happen is if you make the boots so waterproof that that the water can't get in there, right? What you're going to end up with is a foot fungus. So they decided it was better to just let the water go in and let the water go out. And in a jungle type of environment, at night, you know, it'll dry, right? So that was the design of these boots. They also have a metal shanking there, so if you step on a punji stake, right, it's not gonna, you know, it'll be less resistant to penetrating the bottom of the boot. So really interesting. So let me know what you guys think. Again, I wanted to just basically test out this scope. I've been working with it for a couple of weeks now. I've done a detailed video on this $1,500 scope from Primary Arms. It's a first focal plane. It's got an excellent reticle in there. Gives you lots of good information for range estimation, for wind holes. You know, so it's really an excellent reticle. I just wanted to kind of get an idea of, like, you know, when you're shooting awkward positions, like from underneath the, you know, at one point I was shooting from underneath a fallen tree over there, you know, and around trees. I wanted to see how easy it was going to be to work with, and you know, it was pretty good. Now, of course, when you're doing this type of shooting, you got time to get yourself into position, take well-aimed shots, because you're taking, you know, you're shooting from cover. This is a little different from, like, you know, if you're doing like CQB type of work. So for this type of shooting, I prefer to turn the reticle off and just work with the, turn off the illumination and just work with the etched reticle, and it was working really good for me. And like I said, I mean, I was shooting from a hidden position, and my target is also in a shooting position. I'm going to edit out the beginning of this video, because I spent quite a bit of time, like, because basically what I did is once I set up the camera, I went out into the woods, and I kind of made a semicircle back, and I came in from like almost like an unpredictable direction, and I was having a little bit of trouble actually finding my target through all these leaves. So that was and then I didn't even see the target. I wasn't able to see that target, right? That's back there until I got within 100 feet, right? It's right over there. Only when I got with that white target right in the middle of the, right? Now you can see it from this angle. You couldn't see it so easy before. But I couldn't even see that target until I got within 100 feet. And I had to come in from a very particular angle, right? Because like when I was coming in from that side, I couldn't see it because of the trees around it or the leaves around it. So I had to come in from I figured out a specific angle that I had to approach that target in order to get a clear line of sight. And still, I wasn't never able to see the full target. I was just able to see a little piece of it, and I used I zoomed up to the 3x magnification so I could basically get I can magnify the part that I could see and make my shot. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Drop some comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed doing the video. Okay, I only do this a couple of times a year where I go into the full camo with the face paint. I did it last winter. Last winter I did the snow camouflage. You guys should look up that video where I got like snow camo and I'm running through the woods shooting at the target. So I wanted to do the summer version of that, and it was also a good opportunity to test out this scope a little bit more. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon. Make sure you guys are subscribed to all my channels because they back each other up. I got Pocono Shooting, I got Absolute Gun Rights, and I've got the original Safa channel, which goes back to 2006. And also on the uncensored platforms, on Odyssey, I'm Pocono Tactical, on Rumble, I'm Pocono Guns, on BitChute, I'm Pocono Tactical over there, and also on Gunstreamer and HugeTube, I'm Pocono Tactical over there.